Hey, we're going to talk today about candidates and job offers. I just finished a post up at stlrecruiting.com. I was actually reading the LinkedIn group, a lot of good information on it. In this case, it was my information, so it's excellent information. It was a recruiter asking what to do if you give a job offer and the candidate comes back and asks for more money. First, let me apologize. My hair's in the marketing thing today, and I'm wearing a marketing shirt, so I'm not doing the white and blue recruiter shirt, and I apologize for that. So let me put my recruiting hat and high-waisted pants on and tell you that, one, you just admit you made a mistake. You should have talked to the candidate ahead of time about what they were going to take an offer for, and I like to talk to candidates and say very clearly, if I give you this offer, if they write it, are you going to take it at this level? Do you have any questions? Because if I come back to you and you say you're not going to take it, I'm just going to cut the search off entirely. You need to do that. You need to do that early. You need to make sure that there's no questions that they're going to take the offer. It's just something that has to be fit into the process, because recruiting is a process. And if you do the exact same thing every single time, you're going to be successful. What happens is we skip steps. What happens is we don't trust our gut. We don't look for information that it provides, and then we wonder why something goes wrong. In this case, you just flat out missed it. But nothing you can do about it. We all make mistakes. So here's what you do. You got to understand one of two things. One, are they just asking for more money? It's very normal in negotiations, especially places like the Northeast, to simply ask, hey, is that the best you can do? Nothing wrong with it. Hey, you know what? I have family members who do it. They're awesome at it. It's good money for them. It's fantastic to watch. You don't like it as a recruiter, but hey, if you can get more money, who are you to say that they shouldn't? The problem is it's your candidate, so you're kind of stuck. You have to figure out if they're just asking, and if you want to go back to the manager and ask, or if they're doing it for a different reason. Many times you have people who don't respect the recruiter in the process at all, and this is a dangerous place for you because they're just putting the screws to you, and you have two concerns. You're fearful. A lot of us don't like confrontation, and they're going to be vague. You're going to go back to the manager and say they want more money, and the manager's going to say why. And they're going to say, why didn't you fix it? How much more do they need? Are you sure you're going to take the job? You don't have the answers to anything. So you have to make sure when they ask for more money that you figure out, are they just asking for more, or is there more to it? So I suggest you ask them questions. Why are you asking for more money? If they say, because I think it need more, usually, they're going to say, well, the job's different than I said. And you're supposed to take that vagueness back to the manager, but get more specific. At what point did you know that the job was different? Can you write down the specifics of how what I told you it was on the job posting are different than what you understand the position to be? Make them be as specific as possible and say, hey, I got to go to the manager and tell them you're asking for more money. So to make sure you understood what the job was in the interview process, because clearly I seem not to have understood it, you need to write down the difference so I can take this to the manager and say this is why they're asking for more money. You pin them to those specifics. Then you go even further. So if I give you this money, are you going to take the job? What if I only get you half the money? You wait. What if I only get you a quarter of the money? What if he comes back and says take the job or leave it? You need to get so specific with them about what they're going to do and not do. So if you do end up going back to the manager, you know you have the job order. Once you've gotten that far, so I'm going to take this that you've written down, because you're not being vague, you're going to write down what it is, and this is how much money, and now you've agreed to take it if I give you this much. Oh, it wasn't $5,000, it was $2,500. Very specific on what they'll take. Once you have all that, you say, okay, now if I bring this back to you at this new level, or even if I don't, and there's no offer, are you going to take the job on the spot, or do you need to think about it? Because I'm not going to the manager if you have to think about it. You need to tell me if you're going to take that job. And if I come back and you want to think about it some more, you're not getting the job offer. So you have to be specific. You have to figure out what all's on the table. Because a lot of times they're just stalling because they have another interview process. And they figure asking for money is a way to get some extra time, or they're waiting for a counteroffer. So you have to really put the screws to them to say, hey, are you going to take this offer? Am I wasting my time? And you have to be firm enough to let them know that you do have the ability to pull them out of the job offer. It's just something you have to be prepared to do. You don't want to. You want them to get that higher, but they've got to start being straight with you, because at this point, it's not a matter of negotiation. It's a matter of trust. And then you have to find out even further. So we come back, we get you $2,500, or even if we don't, you decide you've taken the job offer. How are you and when are you going to resign? Now, in those steps, you should have already covered counseling them on resignation. What to do with a and the manager says, hey, we want to give you more money, stay with us, or hey, you can't quit, we have 6 months, you should have already done that. It's really important, if you haven't, that you do that again, because what you've done is you've got to make sure that they don't get afraid to say that they're resigning. The goal here is always to get more information from them. Find out what they're really doing. Honestly, sometimes it's just fear. There are candidates that aren't trying to mess with you. They're just afraid of telling their boss they're going to quit, which means that that fear is what led them to say, hey, I need more money, because they're hoping you say no so they don't have to confront their boss. So you've really got to get good at this and be specific and identify the problem, and maybe ask them, hey, have you ever resigned before? Are you close with these people? Have you been there a long time? You have to show enough empathy that they get that your job is to help them, but you're not going to be played for a fool. So get everything in specifics, pen them down, make sure you ask your closing questions, prepare a little bit of a takeaway, and when you go back to the manager, make sure you share all this information so they know that you're a professional doing their job. And the next time, make sure you ask ahead of time, if I get this offer and we write it, you're going to take it, right? Get them to say yes. There's no other question. If I give you the offer and you ask more, I'm going to take it away from you. Lose it a couple times, you'll never make that mistake again.